It was a minor traffic accident that turned deadly. What's the case of road rage that quickly escalated into gunfire and ended with the death of a beloved Super Bowl champion? Police say the men were total strangers, but as ABC's Ryan Smith reports, some say there may be an eerie coincidence.
Tonight, police piecing together the story behind the shooting death of a former NFL star.
Will Smith will get Carson Palmer.
Known for wreaking havoc on the field, Will Smith, New Orleans Saints defensive end, helping to carry the Saints to a Super Bowl win in 2010. Gunned down in his car late Saturday night.
There's a male down with about 6 gunshot wounds to the chest.
His wife Raquel in the passenger seat, caught in the gunfire. In this new cell phone video from a witness at the scene, Smith's wife can be heard crying out to the first responders. Police say it all started just before midnight when a Hummer rear-ended Smith's Mercedes, forcing him to hit the car in front of him. The routine traffic accident quickly escalated into deadly violence. Smith allegedly exchanged words with the driver of that Hummer, 28-year-old Cardell Hayes, before Hayes allegedly drew his handgun and shots were fired. Police arrived to find Smith hit in the torso and back, dead at the scene.
While this was an isolated incident, it is certainly tragic at every level and on all sides.
But was this an isolated incident of road rage? Details quickly emerged of a bizarre twist. It turns out that Hayes, the alleged shooter, once received a settlement from the city for the 2005 police shooting death of his father, Anthony Hayes. In an eerie coincidence, Smith had been enjoying dinner that very evening with one of the police officers named in that lawsuit. And the street where Hayes allegedly shot Smith, only about 500 yards from where his father was killed by police. All of this raising the question, was it road rage, revenge, or just a remarkable set of coincidences?
So Mr. Smith and Mr. Hayes were complete strangers in all of this before that incident.
To put these rumors to rest, my client didn't know Mr. Smith. My client wasn't friends or associates with Mr. Smith. And my client never worked security for the New Orleans Saints.
Hayes attorney John Fuller today offering a new theory, giving the public a peek at the defense strategy.
Multiple witnesses have told me that someone besides my client and his friend were behaving in a threatening nature out there on that night. And the police department knows this.
Are you saying that your client felt threatened by the presence of something Smith had or someone in his party had?
Everybody out there felt threatened.
By Smith?
By someone other than Mr. Hayes. This was not some situation where my client hunted down Mr. Smith.
Fuller also claiming Hayes himself had been the victim of a hit and run moments earlier and was pursuing that driver when he collided with Smith. The police did not address the theory, saying only this.
At this time, we do not have any information to suggest that they knew one another or that this was anything other than an accident that turned into a disturbance that turned violent.
In other words, Smith may have been just another victim of road rage, something that accounts for almost 380 fatal crashes and more than 400 deaths across the country. In Los Angeles, Tampa, and this one in James City, North Carolina, where road rage hit dramatic extremes. A couple, Bradley and Christy Turner, driving a Toyota SUV, was allegedly cut off by a Chevy pickup. They chased the truck for 30 to 40 minutes before Turner confronted the three young men in the vehicle, throwing the first punch in a brutal fight. Turner's wife comes out of the car and hands him a pistol, which he uses to fire into the back of the truck. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and the couple turned themselves in to police. This past February, Bradley Turner pled guilty to weapons charges.
I think we all have the potential to be a road rager, and I think some people gets out of control.
Robert Nemirovsky is a psychologist in San Francisco who has made a career of studying road rage.
We get into a little cocoon in our automobiles, and we feel like we own the space in front of us. And when someone tailgates us or someone cuts in front, I think that feels very threatening, almost as if someone is driving right into the front door of our home.
He says there are ways for drivers to prevent road rage and cool off when things get too heated.
If you're feeling stressed, do something like go to the gym, go for a walk, get yourself calm. When you're in the car, instead of listening to maybe outrageous talk radio, maybe listen to something that makes you a little more calm. And when something happens on the road and you start to feel yourself getting upset, use this mantra. I call it FIDO. Forget it, drive on.
This means no yelling, no cursing, and laying off the horn. And if you do find yourself in a confrontation, remember to stay calm. Offer a quick "I'm sorry." It's not easy, but it'll go a long way in de-escalating a dangerous situation that may have led to Will Smith's death. In New Orleans today, Smith's alleged shooter, Cardell Hayes, facing charges of second-degree murder, in custody after failing to reduce his bail of $1 million. We're also learning new details about Hayes. A football player like Smith, he had been on the practice squad for the New Orleans Voodoo. Marlon Favorite, who played for both the Saints and the Voodoo, knew both men.
I heard about Will's death on Saturday night, and I woke up the next morning and I saw a picture of Hayes, and I'm like, man, this really can't be real. He never struck me as a troublemaking guy. I mean, I know he's big with dreadlocks, but he's a teddy bear. As far as I know, he's always been a nice guy. So that's why I was very shocked that this happened.
It could be months before we learn the full story of what happened to Smith. In the meantime, residents continue to mourn the loss of one of their own.
It hit close to home, literally and figuratively.
Smith was one of those rare players who stayed with one franchise, earning the loyalty of local fans like Cardinals player Tyrann Mathieu, who told Fox Sports Radio today,
"He was a hero to us. He was a god in my eyes."
Kim Kardashian, friends with Smith's wife Raquel, also paying tribute, writing, "Will, you were an angel to your family on earth." The fan favorite, who will be inducted into the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame later this year, leaves behind 3 young children. His family in a statement asking for privacy as they, quote, grieve the loss of a devoted husband, father, and friend. For Nightline, Ryan Smith, ABC News, New Orleans, Louisiana.